share of the education that we get everywhere in the world. This is why we are here today and we'll be discussing that today. We have resource people with us. We have Dr. Dawood on the call. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. And this is a great privilege. We have other people joining us from different places. So it is really nice to have you all here at this moment. So I'll be calling other people that as they join us too. We're having some of our guest speakers will be joining us too very soon. So I just want to ask this question generally. What do we see about our education these days? What do you think we need to add to it? How innovative can we be before we even start the conversation practically? Because it's much more of a concern now that a lot of people are lacking in education. Some people don't want to go to school. Some people that went to school don't know how to become innovative and make themselves useful. What are you thinking about this? How do we innovate our educational system in the whole world, not just Nigeria, not just Zimbabwe, not just California. This is about every one of us because we are we are in it all. It's everything that happens is related to every human being on earth, and this is about education where it is not limited to anyone. Okay. So, Terry Robinson, do you mind sharing with us what you can see with education, making education innovative for us? What do you think about it? Can you share with us what you have?
Good evening, everyone. I want to confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay, yes, please, can you repeat your question? I didn't quite get you very well.
You said?
Please, can you repeat your question? I didn't quite get you very well.
Oh, okay. I say, what can you tell us about making education innovative in a way that everyone is inclusive with education and we are making it equitable for everyone in the whole world as an individual? I hope you get that.
Okay, yes, I did get that. Okay, my response to this will be that, first of all, we have to make sure that everyone, and when I mean everyone, like everyone in everywhere around the world, get access to education. And for this to be possible, innovation has to come in. And one way that innovation has to come in is through technology. Now, I think technology can make this very, very possible so that education can reach even the unreachable spaces. So it is our responsibility as social innovators um, and also the government's responsibility to work together to create devices that can enable people in unreachable places to actually get education.
Oh, wow. That is fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. That is fantastic. And at least you are able to tell us a little about that. That is wonderful. And we have Mr. Kushimo online right now. You're welcome, sir. We are glad to have you here on this roundtable series. It is a privilege to have you here, sir. Um, I would like you, sir, to okay, before that, I would like to tell everybody about Mr. Kola Wale Kushimo. Mr. Kola Wale is a dynamic STEM educator with an approximately 10 years combined experience in classroom teaching and assisting education technology companies in designing simplified yet effective curriculum for diverse learners. Throughout his career, He has been deeply committed to Sustainable Developmental Goal 4 and 8, which is equality, education, and decent work. These goals are central to his professional, these goals are central to his professional operations and growth. He has played a pivotal role in initiatives and aimed at promoting quality education and creating decent workplaces. Mr. Kawalawale is also the founder of Diction Adventure Education, an organization that provides innovative educational solutions to enhance learning operations. To enhance learning experience, is pursuing a doctorate in STEM education and teacher development at the University of Maastricht, Denmark, or USA. He focuses on curriculum development, assessment, and integrating technological advancement in education. Wow, you can see that this person is really, really in depth when it comes to education. You're welcome, Mr. Kalawale. Please just say hello before I ask you my questions, sir. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good to see beautiful and handsome faces here today. Yeah, I'm glad to be here and to share mine and to learn also from experts in the house as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Before I proceed, I would like Tari to give us an opening remark. I thank you for sharing a little about the team topic. Tari, would you like to give us an opening remark on this series, roundtable series? Thank you. Oh, sorry, I mean Toluwani. So sorry. Toluwani, sorry, are you online, please? Toluwani Oyesiko. Hello, Toluwani. Please confirm if you are with us, please.
All right, yes, I wasn't able to
Oh,
unmute.
so sorry. I missed your name. I'm so sorry. I was looking at Toluwani and calling Tari. So sorry.
That's fine, thank you. All right, so hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the SDG Roundtable series today. We hold this roundtable series every month, and so far it has been amazing. We've been able to look at different SDGs each month, and so we're able to increase awareness on each of the SDGs each and every month. The SDG focus for the month has been our ability to increase awareness on those SDGs, and not just increase awareness, but to come up with practical strategies on how we can contribute, what we can do moving forward as we are going towards 2030. And this month, we are looking at SDG 4, which is very essential, right? We're looking at quality education, and we have some wonderful experts with us today who I know are ready and set to give us so much information on our theme for the day, which is dealing with innovative education models for inclusive and equitable lifelong learning. And the last thing I would say is, let it not stop here. We say this as every SDG program that we have, every SDG roundtable series that we have, that it doesn't just end with a conversation, but we should even go further from here and take all the things that we have learned, all the things that we have spoken about, and ensure that we are using these to drive change, actionable change in our communities, in our homes, among our families, and then, of course, in our countries at large, and even encourage global action towards driving each of these SDG goals. So thank you everyone for being here today. I'm really glad to be here as well. I'm really looking forward to all that we're going to learn today. Thank you, Yetunde.
Right, thank you so much, Oluwani. It's nice to have you here. And I'm so glad to meet you here also. We'll be getting straight to the point of the reason why we are here today, which is for innovative education model for inclusive and equitable lifelong learning. I'll introduce our guest speaker who's here already. And I would like him to be asked to answer some questions for us that is related to education. And my first questions would be like how can we rethink education across African countries beyond the traditional classrooms while we are utilizing digital and blending learning models to reach students in remote and undeserved areas, because I think those people are not really getting the education they needed, because a lot of things now evolve with technology. So how do we create a model for them to be accessible to these students, and it will be useful to them while they use digital tools and other things like that? Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Yetunde, for this good opportunity. I just want to make a big clarification so that we start on a very good note in terms of what we mean by education and what we mean by technology, in the sense of people may say. First, when we talk about education, in what context do we want to see education? So when you talk about the education that we gain today, okay, we want to learn this because we want to achieve a particular thing, or the society, or the government, or maybe a design that the government has given us, that okay, this is, you go through primary school, go to secondary school, and then go to university, and then graduate, and then do what? So in my context of education, okay, let's look at it that, okay, education is what they want us to go through at the end of the day. And they want advancement, or want technology to come in. For as a STEM educator or as an educator, I would define it this way, it's all about solving education that do not allow you to solve immediate societal problem. It's not education. So let's clear that. Now, that is the perspective of a STEM educator as well, because as STEM educator, we said, for me, it's all about solving immediate problem. Now, when you talk about these innovative ideas or incorporating technology is not majorly like, when we define technology, what is technology? Things that makes, or let me put it in a simple way, whatever that makes life easier is technology. And anything could be a technology. Like we are connected from different round of the world, from US, from Nigeria, from Cameroon. I can see so many places people are connected via technology. It's to be able to make communication more easy. So when we look at these two, and we bring it to Africa, our reality is quite different. The reality of an average person, of an average African person, is different. What is our major societal problem? Why we are trying to tend towards the advancement of technology? There are so many technological ways we could advance ourselves. So I'm going to go deep into it, but I just want to make a clarity about what technology is and what education is. So education makes us maybe solve our immediate societal problem. Technology is all about what makes life easy. So when we begin to look at our reality as an African person, as an average African person, then we begin to see that what we may see as technology in a particular African scenario or a particular place may be different from what technology that is needed in a particular time. So it's all about us understanding what we need and our reality at the moment. So I'm going to stop there so that if there's a follow-up question you want to ask there, and then I can jump on it.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. And thank you for giving us that clarification. Yes, it is very, very necessary. And I think I have taken one or two points from that. That is fantastic. That is a very good one, sir. And if I won't be bothering you so much, I have another
Yeah.
questions to ask. And I just feel like, okay, in a continent as diverse as Africa is, how can we create educational content that reflects our local culture, our languages, our realities, ensuring that all the students feel engaged and involved in this contest? I hope you understand that question, sir.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
I
sir.
believe
So
that local content are very important. And one of my beliefs is that I always say that anytime I'm developing a curriculum, I said let's build a local curriculum that actually speaks to us, that actually speaks to the learners. But also we have in mind that as we are building this local curriculum or local content that speaks to individual or a particular set of people, then we are looking at it at these students, as they are learning in their local way, must also be able to compete with their counterpart internationally. So we want to balance that. Now, how do we do this? When we bring STEM content or a way of people understanding their own community, their own environment. And I think that is big when people understand when you go to a particular culture or a particular environment, their reality of things, the way they view things, even in science, the way they go to the river and understand the way the waters, the rivers, the sun, everything works, it's their season. They understand it in their own local way. So there is a place for this content to be translated in their own community. For example, we have seen that nowadays you see when students can learn better when they understand. Okay, you are trying to give a science concept about energy, for example, and you are bringing something that is foreign that they cannot even relate with. But we can go. I remember when we were young, we always there's a play that we play. We have a sand. We put the sand on our leg, and then dip a hole on the sand like a house, and then on that hole we put something like we buy a switch that gives the lightning um, to the house in there. But that concept is like a play concept that we could relate with, that what talks about light. Then, if we want to explain science in that regard, we want to explain light, we could go that route to explain it in that local content. So it's very important that we're able to match this local content and face our own individual reality, the environment, and then also bearing in mind that as we are innovating all of these, how are they connected to a science, a science theories or whatever that we are building, and then connected to the global, where we cannot compete with a global competitor or someone in the United States, someone in the United Kingdom with their own realities, able to bring these two realities together and then not just relying on what someone has said in your own content. So we should always bring this STEM. We can always bring this content, this STEM content to our local. It may not necessarily be that we put it in our local language. It may not necessarily, but sometimes it's necessary. But bringing it in our own community, in our own environment, and in our own reality is the most important thing that STEM education or quality education have to do, is talking about, so that we can understand this reality and we can solve our immediate societal problems.
wow, that's fantastic. Thank you very much for that.
think you are muted. I can't hear you.
Oh, so sorry. Sorry, sir. So thank you very much, sir. And we are so grateful, and we can see the in-depth of what you are actually talking about. Can see you as an educator. You actually understand all that, and you are point that from experience. Thank you very much for that. And I'm asking you just one more question before I throw out more questions to other people so that they can contribute and share their own thoughts about education and how we are going to make it innovative and create a model out of it. Okay, now I also ask like how can we collaborate between government, private sectors, non-governmental organization to promote these innovative solutions that we have talked about now of us bringing out the innovative part of education to everyone so that it will be accessible. How do we collaborate with other people, government, private sectors, so that we can expand the education access to make it a lifelong learning and more achievable for everyone? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, the reality of things is that, of course, there is no, um, we cannot say that collaboration is not the key thing. The collaboration we're talking about here, I'll look at it starting from who are the stakeholders in development of education. The stakeholders maybe in the government, we have the government, we have the teachers, we have the schools, we have the parents, we have different technological companies coming up in terms of collaborative aspect. But what I always focus on is that who is the person at the receiving end is the students, of course. And when we look at it from the top down to the teachers that actually pass, or maybe people with educators that actually pass the information to the student, we want to look at it from, I'll look at it from collaborating in terms of understanding what is needed, understanding the need, because sometimes there may be some disconnection, especially when it comes to education technology companies trying to develop curriculum or trying to develop something for the student to learn. And they don't understand the reality of the students. So I always say that before anything, there should be a joint consultation about what are the students learning, because they are the receiving end. They are the one, and because we want to build a sustainable, a lifelong student that can learn, that can understand learning, that learning will not be boring to them, then we need to come to their reality. So there should be a strong connection between bridging that gap between what the government is thinking about. The government have their own agenda in terms of what education should look like. The education technology companies have their own agenda, what education should look like. Private educators or private companies or educational companies have their own agenda of what education should look like. Then the center point should always be that in terms of collaboration, whatever collaboration we are doing is that we are coming to the reality of the 21st century that we are in. The reality of the 21st century we are in is that students must learn a skill that is applicable and practicable, or that they can use. I will always repeat that they can use to solve the immediate society. When they start to do that, then education is meaningful. So in all that we do in collaboration, I will say that government should have a structure. We should always go back. We could not always continue the same curriculum. The curriculum is not favoring us again in terms of learning, in terms of what the students learn in the classroom. We're just pouring things to students and we are not getting feedback from them. We don't know what their reality now is. That is why there's a lot of chaos in education today in Nigeria, and specifically African country in general. So, and because these innovative ideas are not coming, they don't allow, this curriculum do not allow students to have innovative ideas, to be able to innovate things. It doesn't challenge their critical thinking skills. It doesn't challenge their their collaborative skills. Because those are basic 21st century skills that students learn. It is not just the 2+2, the learning in the classroom. So when we're talking about collaboration, we should always look at it from that angle. If the government can restructure what they think about education, then the private organizations, the education technology companies should also think alike in terms of, okay, how can we come together to make sure that things that we are designing are actually solving our immediate societal problem? What is our own problem? We shouldn't look at the Western problem. What is our own problem as Africans, as Nigerians? And then begin to structure our curriculum towards that end. And that is where we can push innovative ideas. We can push an innovative educational system, not the dumb education system or the one that do not actually have a student to think critically. So we want that in terms of collaborative aspects. So government, the private organization, the technology company, the schools, the teachers. I always tell teachers as well. I'm a teacher. I used to say that we don't need technological advance. We can improvise to bring technology into our classroom. So it's always our work as individual, as private organization, as government, to always think about the receiver of this learning so that they can be of good advantage to them at the end of their learning.
Wow, wow. That is fantastic. And thank you so much for that. And that means we need to do more of consultancy, get feedback, and also make sure that whatever we are, it's not until we go to the high level of technology before we implement some things to them. So
And
we can
improvise.
improvise within us. That means everybody has a work to do, both the
Yes.
government, the private sector, even individual teachers, everybody needs has something to do to make this thing work, to make this impact. Yes, that is fantastic. That is a good one. Thank you very much for that insight. So I'll be throwing so many questions out now. So if you like to contribute to that question, I will be glad if you can just support us with this discussion, because I'm enjoying this discussion already, because it's about education and we all pass through the education. It is the education that built us to who we are and where we are today. Because if the education is not well structured, or if we didn't try as much as possible to advance our education, we might not have enough information or resources to be here right now. So I'll be asking just a few questions like, okay, I'm so concerned about this. Okay, like how personalized or adaptive learning approach helps students, like Mr. Kolawole has said now, a lot of we have a lot to do, and this is a challenge to everyone, even the government, the private sector, and everyone. So how personalized and adaptive learning approach helps students who faces these challenges? Like, okay, now we have, apart from the technology part, the classes are always overcrowded, and there's limited resources to what they can use. It still fall back on government doing this, individual doing that. But the different learning, everybody has different learning needs, because some don't even have the capacity to go to school. So, how can technology assist us in providing this solution? Okay, even if some people don't go to school, how did they learn? How would they improve in their education? What idea do we think we can bring on board to make this visible? Because everybody's now involved, teachers, parents, private sectors, everyone is involved. So, what idea do you think we can bring so that the learning will become adaptive to this student? Even people that go to schools that are overcrowded, they get access to these resources, to this information, not necessarily the high tech. They might not have the laptops, but they have something that would inculcate that innovation into their learning. If you have anything, you can raise your you can put use the raise of hands to contribute to this. I would like to hear from our audience if you have anything to contribute to that. And there are a lot of educators on this call right now, and I would love to hear your voice, please. So you can just do with a showcase of hands, and I can grant you access to speak. I'm still waiting. I know we have a lot to talk about this. Your idea, what you think about it. How do you think we can assist this student or participant to enhance their education, to make it innovative and more interesting? Because we are all talking about technology, but not everybody have access to it. So what can we do in this aspect to assist? Okay, should I start calling out names? I think since some of us are shy to to raise our hands. Okay, I've seen Moluwafemi Abioye. Would you mind speaking to us about this? Anyone, please? Okay. Oh, I'm trying to check if anyone is trying to.
Yeah, and let me say
Please,
something
let's
before.
speak. Okay. I think Mr. Kolawole wants to assist us with this.
Uh,
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
I think one of the major challenges of education that we're facing at the moment is accessibility and affordability of this technology that we talk about. And one thing I've always advocated is that accessibility is relative and affordability is also relative. We know that the sophisticated kind of technology that we have today, not everybody can afford it. Now, there's always a way to reach out to this to the less privileged people that do not have access to this technology. I remember I did a program where you have to take um, laptop to a rural area where they've not even seen laptop before to teach them coding, how to code. You know, sometimes the little access to a phone or maybe a gamification kind of phone. And also, we can even go deep in terms of, I know Tunde Onokoya was doing something on
Yeah.
so things like that,
Yes.
going in depth, and these students are learning math with it. They are it doesn't need to be sophisticated. And I always say that's a lens that we want to look at accessibility. So we should not wait, and I've always said we should not always wait for sophisticated things to come before we could make impact. When we go with things as simple as smartphone that do not even have internet, where they can play games, where they can play chess, where they can play ludos, where they can play things that will educational stuff that will help them learn the skill, the lifelong. We are talking about lifelong learning skills that they need to learn. So accessibility for me is able to bring something in your locality or things that you feel that these students can relate with at the moment, where they can learn at that particular point, and then relate it to whatever you want them to learn or a skill that you want them to learn. And why we do that often, so even that's why the government needs to understand all of this. We do not need we just need to reach out to people wherever they may be. And private organization, NGOs, whatever you may be, let's reach out. Even in our, you may be shocked when you go to your community and you ask one or two questions about, oh, do you have access to this? Have you done this before in your phone? People are just glued. It's not about, people are just glued to their phone on social media. They are not really learning anything. And there are a lot of things to learn, even with your phone, even without it, and so many other ways. So we could use local things that people learn. People have used Ayo. I don't know what they call it in English. Ayo a lot more to learn mathematics, to learn how to calculate, and to teach them some level of creativity that they could think about. So accessibility is just all about what can you afford, and affordability is about what can you afford at the moment, How can you use it to learn? And how do you have access to it?
That is awesome. Thank you very much for that. It has brought more light to we using our resources that we have to do whatever we need to do presently. Okay, I can see a raise of hands. I can see Mr. Get there, Dan Abu. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't murder your name. You can mute your mic. You can unmute your mic and speak on this.
Yes, thank you. I'm audible, please.
Yes, we can
Hello.
hear you. Yes, we can hear
Okay,
you. Thank you.
thank you. I thank God for this program, and Kola Ole have been doing justice to it. I understand, and that's not surprising because he actually understands the topic of discussion, because he has been going around equity, accessibility, factoring in the local resources, and those are areas that have been lacking. He talks about when they were kids and they were playing, and recently, just now, he talked about the accessibility and the technology that is even available now and is not being utilized. So I want to talk briefly about the utilization and to ensure equity in what we have available now. The issue now is that to ensure that equitable access to lifelong skills, you see that we need to take priority in what we have at stake now. He mentioned about one game, the local game, and where my mind going to is this other one that they play and they count that they put them into about six something like that. They put them into those holes and count. That's another area that we can dwell
Yes.
on. Me, I don't know how to play, and I don't know how to play because I'm a Gen Z, so to say. But now we the Gen Zs now, we are now misusing the little Android that we have and not making a good use of it. Now, what about those ones in the village? Are their fathers, the parents now, who are the stakeholders? The schools now, who are also the stakeholders? Are they organizing local sport around those things to make them know how to count? So those are the things that we really need to let them know. And we also, which we are considering ourselves Gen Z now, should be able to utilize what we are having. So in summary, what I want to say is that we have those technology available, the local and even the modern ones, but now we should be conscientized to know how to mainstream these tools into our daily life to ensure that, yes, we have a good learning and skill development. Thank you. Sorry, I'm in somewhere, so let me not, but I'm still around. Sorry.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Dan Harbo. That is a good one. And it's just still going back to us implementing what we have. It's not until we have a lot of technology before we implement or try to innovate. We should make use of whatever we have in hands now to execute. And okay, I can see our program coordinator raising hands. Yes, you can unmute, please.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Confirm if you can hear me.
Good evening. We can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, great, fantastic. So this is Ayokunle Aziz. I'm speaking from Ogun State, Nigeria. So I think a whole lot has been said. I mean, from everything that we've said, I think a whole lot of ideas have been shared. I just want to pick something from what Mr. Kolawole just mentioned quite recently. He said that, I mean, the fact that we have a whole lot of technologies around us these days, the misuse of it, I mean, just going there, you see that you see young people making use of internet and, they're just glued to social media. In relation to the topic that we're having today, I think we have a whole lot to learn from. I'll take from personalized experience. There was this one time I had to teach basic three learners the concept of concave and convex lenses or something like that. And I was finding it very difficult to communicate it. So I was like, how do I tell these people? Of course, I know what those things means. I understand this concept. But I was thinking, how do I communicate this thing using what they have around them? So I was just there thinking, I'm just worried. Like, how do I communicate to basic three learners the concept of concave, and they will understand? And luckily for me, because I'm exposed to all this new artificial intelligence, I went online. I was surprised that I could actually relate with something. So what am I trying to say exactly? That it is not just I think beyond saying that we have these local things. My concern is even those that are actually communicating this knowledge, do they know how to actually use these local things to actually communicate innovations? Can they actually use what they have around them? So understanding, I think conscious effort should be put into empowering our teachers, our educators, telling them on how to leverage on some of the things that we have now to communicate ideas to these learners. Innovation is all about looking at what we have around us. Like, I mean, I'm so enjoying the conversation that I'm like, yes, this is it. It's not until we import sophisticated, millions of instruments before we can actually communicate what we mean by innovations. We could use simple things like even our local Gary can be used to communicate innovations. But the thing is, those that want to communicate that information, do they even have an understanding of how to use that to communicate the thing to the learners? So I think even as much as we're advocating, um, if there's a way we can actually invest more in our educators, especially we young ones that are actually, taking up the roles, because invariably some of us on this call in the next 10 years will be in the educational field, playing one or two roles in the classrooms or in the educational management or so. So I think if we can actually invest ourselves in leveraging on what we have currently, I think we can provide significant amount of solutions to the problem that we have, and we can actually create that innovative curiosities in these learners. So that's just my own contribution. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much. And you have really, really put more insight to this. And this is getting interesting, isn't it? Please let's put our comment on the chat box. Let's show that we are actually learning from this, because I've learned a lot today. It's today I'm realizing that okay, we are not utilizing what we have enough. Even the ones that we are not making use of it in the right way. Sorry, before I call on Mr. Kolawole to round up the section. Tari Robinson, you have something to say? Your hand is up. You can mute your mic and speak.
Okay, thank you so much, Yetunde. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can.
Okay, I want to just build more on what Mr. Ayokunle just mentioned. So there's this saying, or there's this popular definition of innovation that says innovation is creating something new, or creating a new way of using what we already have, right? So based on the second part of this second definition of innovation, I am really glad that we are all today hearing the fact that me, for one, I did not know, or I had little knowledge that local things we have around us can also be used to communicate or used to educate people in new ways. Like, I had little knowledge about it. And I'm very sure that a lot of persons have little knowledge about it as well, especially SDG advocates. I'm very sure they have little knowledge about this thing. They want to advocate, they want to, build innovative models to educate people, but they have little knowledge about this thing. So I really want that ADEB is doing exceptionally well in this area, and other social impact organizations. So just like we have different programs in ADEB, like the campus ambassador program, and we have other programs that educate or build or train advocates, I think we should have a program dedicated to teaching or training SDG advocates that are playing different roles, that are geared towards different goals, on how to use our local resources, the local things we have, the local things, the things we can use around us, right? To communicate what we need to communicate. I think there should be a program like that. What do you think?
Yes, I agree. I agree with you. I agree. 100% agreement. Thank you so much, Gary Robinson. That is a wonderful one. And I'm so glad to hear this. I'm so glad this afternoon because I just realized that when we were growing up, we used stones to count numbers. We used mineral covers to make numbers, to multiply, to do subtraction, multiplication. I'm wondering what is happening right now. And these are the things that actually helped us when it comes to mathematics. I was very bad when I was when I was in primary school with mathematics. But with the aid of these little things that I play with, naturally we play with it, but it helps us to make calculation work well. I don't know why we neglect so all those things and inculcate so much on technology. Yes, technology helps us, but I think we still need to go back to that root and start implementing those things, start innovating from those things that we have already to make new innovations, to make new idea come to reality. And I will have you on, Mr. Kolawole. I can see your hands raised, sir.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we're having this interesting conversation. And I can see that a lot of people are looking at it from that perspective. Thank you, Tari. Thank you, Aziz, and the first speaker, the contribution. It's so interesting that we are looking at this because it's very long time and people have been looking at technology from the different perspective, and we are neglecting our innovative ideas that we have in Africa. And I can tell you, doing research in the United States, I've seen a lot in education, comparing United States education to Nigeria or to Africa that like. But the most important thing that's very important, like one of the contributors said, training teachers, I think it's one of the major things that we need to do. For example, when I was teaching, I did a lot of personal things myself. I'm not being trained even by by the school, but I feel that is a personal thing where you learn so many things. And going into education, I never thought anything about coding, robotics before, but I have this definition as a teacher. That's my personal definition. I call it a teacher is someone that doesn't know everything, but knows something about everything. A teacher is not someone that knows everything, but must know something about everything. And that actually gives you that idea of a lifelong learner. That means you want to learn, you want to innovate, because you have different, if, for example, you have 25 students in your class, these 25 students have different realities, have different interests, have different aspirations in life. For example, you have a student that wants to be a pilot. You don't need to be a pilot to guide that child how to become a pilot. You can just have an idea and inspire that child to be a pilot. That is all that we need. So when I talk about all of these, I'll give you a practical example of how to think about local solutions. There was a time I was talking to my student. We're designing something about using an app to design a solution. We look at it that, okay, one of the major problems we have in Africa is, or in Nigeria, is I think research shows that about 60 to 70% of our farm products, they are, as in, they don't get to the final consumer. About 60 to 70%. That's a major problem in Africa, because SDG 1 is saying that zero hunger, right? And there's a problem of and what is causing this problem of about 60 to 70% of our farm products getting destroyed before it gets to the final consumer? Majorly, maybe because of transportation, storage, and all of that. There are two major things. Let's take storage and transportation. Bad roads, there are no roads to transport. Maybe the farm product is produced in Maiduguri and needs to come to Lagos. Before it gets to Lagos, between that time, maybe, so many things have lost, and they couldn't. And if they have a large production, where would they store it? They may not have storage. Now, I was having this discussion with my students, and let's think about what can we do? Because is a major problem that we have if we want to solve um, if we want to solve SDG 1, which is zero hunger. Because if you have enough products, then you have enough food, and maybe somehow we can solve that. But we now begin to think. One of the students say, "Can we build an app?" And that's where technology comes in, because it's exposed to, okay, can we build an app to say, for example, if you have a product in the Kwara State, for example, is produced in your local, and people have on the app, okay, the farmer can say, oh, I have this product, this farm product that will be ready in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks, right? And the buyers can go online on the app to say, oh, I need, okay, the farmer can say, okay, I have 10 bags or 10 baskets of tomatoes that I'm going to produce in the next 3 weeks, 10 baskets of tomatoes. Now, this 10 baskets of tomatoes, and people can start by, oh, I will need one basket, two, or another person can say, I may need two baskets within the same community. So you're going to look at the proximity of where the farmer is. Maybe the farmer is just like 2 to 3 kilometers away from you. So if that product can be gotten from that farmer, at least 50 to 60% of that product is gotten within the community before it's transported to a far distance. That is solved. And another person can have a small farm in Lagos where he produces, where he just in it at his backyard. I want to sell to people. People can just go and Google and say, oh, who is having this product? If I have it, I'll just post it on. So it's a solution. We don't need to wait for government to fix the roads or to fix transportation, right? We don't need to wait for government to build large storage a product or large storage this is for the farmers. That's an idea that's critical thinking of someone that say, oh, I know this is a problem. He's not even thinking about the government, how to solve it, but he's thinking about how to use people to connect to individuals, to connect to the farmers right there in their community, right there in their. So before you know, at least we'll solve like 20 to 30% of the waste that we always have in our farm product. That's a solution. We don't do you may have to eventually use app technology, but that is an advance on that. You have solved a local community, you have solved an immediate society problem that we have. So most of the time, let's look inward without, if the government comes in, fine, but let's all of us look at how to make these students, and that's a major thing, how to make them think out of the box, how to make them look for solutions. And that's why I started with education should be able to make students, teach them how to identify their needed society problem and solve them. So that's a practical example of how to think about it.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. And sincerely, I think I have more work to do. You have more work to do, and every one of us have more work to do. This is telling us that we need to start using our local resources to implement things that we need to do when it comes to education. Let's do that before we bring in the advanced technology to implement most of these things to make it work well for us. Yes, let's source for the local things that we have. Let's use our resources, the resources that we have right now, so that we can make good use of it. Then when we need the technology, we bring it in, then it becomes a solution. We have a solution already. We just need additional help to source for the solution. Thank you very much, Mr. Kolawole Kushimo, and it's a privilege to have you here. I want to ask the participant if they will be having any question to ask presently before we round up the program. Any question, please? If you have a question, you can put it on the chat box. Use the raise of hands so that we can allow you to unmute your mic and speak. Still waiting, still waiting. Okay, I think we have all learned. I think this is a moment for us to go back to our drawing board and try to draw out those solutions, those ideas from our local communities, from our personal resources, and start implementing. This is a time for us to start strategizing on how we can use our local commodities, how we can bring out the idea locally and make it global. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, I'll be calling on Toluwani for recommendations. Toluwani, are you online? Toluwani, please confirm you're online with us right now.
Yes, sorry, I didn't have rights to unmute.
Oh, so sorry, so sorry. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So, just basic recommendations for everyone, just to say that, like what we said when we had the opening address, right? Look at how much we have learned today. We have learned a lot. We have learned practical strategies. We have gotten information and insights on how we can really push SDG 4, how we can ensure that we achieve quality education, looking at our key focus till today. And what we just recommend is, like I said before, let it not stop here. All the practical strategies you have taken today, and I hope you were taking notes, all the practical strategies that you have gotten on how we can develop this innovative education models. What are you going to do from here onwards? Make that a commitment where you write it down to say, from today, the 17th of September, I am making a commitment to do this one thing, or I'm making a commitment to do these 2 or 3 things. Make it actionable, let it be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and let it have a time frame to it using the SMART matrix, so that it doesn't just, we're not just coming together and having events where we talk, we learn, but then nothing is actually done going forward. So if we truly do want to change this narrative, we have to actually take practical action. We have to be ready to take practical action, right? So please make it as practical as possible. It could be one thing you decide that you're going to do from today onwards. That I make this commitment that from today and consistently, this is what I am doing to contribute to building and developing innovative education models, right? And I believe that as we all do this, as we make a commitment to doing this, we truly are going to see ourselves edge even closer and closer each and every day to attaining SDG 4 and really seeing that quality education where we can boldly and confidently speak about the level of education in our various countries, be it Nigeria, Cameroon, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, anywhere, any country that you are, you can boldly talk about what the system of education is like in your country and in your community. So thank you so much, everyone, once again, for being on this live today. I've really learned so much from each and every one, just from listening from our facilitator and then even from the audience as well. Thank you so much. And I do hope that you take these actionable steps from today onwards.
All right, thank you so much, Oluwanimi. And that is a charge. Yes, it is now for us to go back to our drawing board, start to look at what we can do differently, things that we can do to make things better for the educational sector. This is a charge for every one of us, for teachers, for government, for our status, for private sectors. This is a charge. Let's start now. Whatever we want to do, we have to start it now. If we want the change, we have to implement the change that we want in our community, in our world, in everywhere we are. So thank you very much, everyone. This is a wonderful section. And please do well to follow ADEF Africa on our social media handles. We are on LinkedIn, we are on Twitter, Facebook, and every other social media handles, as we'll be having this section again next month. So stay tuned for more information. We'll be communicating that to you, to everyone. And Mr. Kalawole, wow, I have learned a lot from you, and I'm connecting with you on LinkedIn immediately. I don't know if you can share with us your information so that some of us here can also connect with you. So, we want to learn more from you and probably collaborate with you on some other innovations and innovative educational sector. So you can share us your LinkedIn profile or any of your social media profiles so that we can follow you, sir. Thank you
Yeah,
very much. It is nice to have you here. Sincerely, I have learned a lot. Some things it's not like we don't know it, but you actually just put more insight, open our eyes to it. Like, okay, this is what we can do, and this is fantastic. Thank you very much, sir.
now I'm going to share my LinkedIn profile. I know quite a number of people have started,
Wow.
following me up. I can see
That's a
about
good one.
I can see about 10 people here already, but it's quite interesting. I'm willing to connect with a lot of people. I talk about SDG 4 specifically, how we can use STEM education to actually innovate and change the educational sector. And I'm so much focused on how we can use our local content to build up a sustainable educational sector in Nigeria, and also using it to drive global competition. Yeah, because I can tell you practically, we as an educator and meeting with diverse people from all over the world, I can tell you that Nigeria have a good stuff, specifically Africa. Africa as large and specifically Nigeria, let me put it that way, that we have so much to offer the world, and the world is actually waiting for us. They actually appreciate what that we do in Nigeria. And, we should just always put ourselves in that forefront. Think loud about how we can innovate things and then make, our world better. We have it in Nigeria. We have all the brains, human resources that we can think of. We are not go anywhere at all. They respect us, they respect all that we do, but we just need to put in more effort to put ourselves out there and to make the world better.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. This is you're keeping our morale high. Yes, it's high already. Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
we,
sir.
we, we, we have it. I can tell you
Yeah.
practically we have it. And
Mm,
I'm not always ashamed to say I'm in Nigeria. Anywhere in the world, I find myself when I'm in the midst of people from different background, diverse background, from different continents. I always tell them I'm in Nigeria. And,
mm.
that actually brings a lot of hope to a lot of us in the diaspora to say that we are doing something good. And it's just something that we just have to believe in ourselves. We don't have to wait for anybody. We don't have to wait for the government to tell us, to let us know that we are great people. We are. We are. We
Yeah.
just need to go there and impact our work. Yeah.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, sir. And please, with your emoji, with your appreciation, help me thank Mr. Kolawole Kushimo. Tell him
Thank
thank
you,
you. We are
everyone.
so glad to have you on this platform, and you have feed us with your experience, with all that
I'm
you
so glad,
know.
so,
We are
so
so
glad.
grateful.
You guys just
Let me
tackle
see
our
your emojis,
mom.
guys. Let me see your appreciation as we connect more with him online,
Yeah.
and hopefully
You guys
we
just
can
type
connect offline.
Shimon, and you
Yeah,
can find
yeah.
me on LinkedIn and anywhere. All right, thank you so
All
much.
right, all
I really
right.
appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So, guys, this will be the end of today's roundtable series, and you can bear me witness that it has been fantastic. I enjoyed myself. I have learned a lot, and you have also learned a lot. I please don't forget to follow us on social media and use ADF Africa. We are waiting to get you connected. So do have a wonderful day, guys. Bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye.